lovely people, this is Chris from Stylharmony, and today's video is going to be about Halloween. And we're going to be doing some favor boxes or little things like this, which is not a favor box but is more like a decoration. You could put it in the centerpiece, do several of these, different sizes, different colors, and put them all together in a centerpiece, or spread this everywhere on your in your house. These two, however, are little treat box or favor boxes. This one is really ugly. I did that thinking the color was more orangey, and it turned out to look really brownish and dirty, so I'm going to make another one. I just still wanted to show you the kind of shape it would have, and it's got this printed face on it, and it's quite cute otherwise. So this is what we're going to do. So in order to do this, I have some templates to show you, and these templates will be available on my website. I put the link in the description box below, and feel free to go there. My website is brand new. It's just like this channel. I'm reboosting it and taking care of it right now. So there is you've got a little flag for your language. Just click on that and then go to downloads, and you will see in Halloween, and you will see all kinds of templates. Feel free to go there and download them and use them as you wish, totally free. So one of this template will be this one, and this one is for this little box. This is a real box, and if you use a heavy paper, you'll be able to put quite heavy things in here. You can put some candies, chocolates, and depending on the decoration or the kind of paper you're going to use, this also can be used as a little gift box and putting some pair of jewelry in it, like earrings or a little bracelet. And that can be something really nice. I usually use this box as a gift box, but you could also, if you invite people in your house, put this in their plates or next to the plates at the table, and put some candies or chocolates in there, and people will go away and have their little boxes as a souvenir. So I think it's really nice to give things like that. The same thing for this one also, for your guests, for example, and this, I love it for decorations. So this template is very easy. The only thing you will have to do is cut out all of the lines here, and you can do this different ways. I'm going to explain that to you in a second. Just cut the outlines, and you need also to cut this piece, which looks like an apple or an orange. It can be any shape you want. You could draw a face. If you wanted to make something like this, you could draw a face of an angry pumpkin or something. And just stop here where you can see the dashes. These, of course, are going to be your folds. So you cut here, this part, and you need to cut these 4 slits here. Okay? That's for this one. Then you have one of these examples, and you have a smaller sheet with smaller pumpkins, because this one is to make this one here. So this is almost a full sheet. It's gonna make about this size, if you can, you know, see the size of it compared to my hand. You just need to cut out here, very simple. You've got a little leaf if you want to cut that one out, and also a little square. This one is a bit too small. It should be a little bigger, I think, and I'll tell you what it is for it. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. This is to make this part, like the stem of it. Can you see it? Yes. This is to do this, but it's really small. I would recommend just cutting a regular piece of, you know, scrap piece of paper or even craft paper to make the stem. And this part here, I don't use it either. I will explain to you that later on, but I'm just gonna cut a strip of, again, a scrap piece of paper. It needs to be heavy. It needs to be heavy, but I'll tell you why later on. So this one is done. So there are 2 or maybe 3 different ways to do this. You can use this directly on your pattern paper, which I did here. I printed out this piece. I wanted a leafy style, so I went on Google and I looked what I could use. For personal use, you can download almost everything as long as you don't sell them. So I printed this one out, and after I printed this pattern paper, I decided to print the pumpkin on the other side, and I cut it out. So everything is cut out, and I'm going to show you how to put this together. Oh, I've got some glue here. It's okay. So this is it. So it's going to be this one, And I'm going to open it for you to, just because I didn't glue anything down, to see how it looks like. When you open it, you could maybe glue these two parts together here and there. You don't have to, but you could. And then it opens here. And these two flaps, you could also glue them together if you wanted to. And the inside would look like this. So if you cut the lines, if you cut your pattern inside the lines, you won't be able to see them. I cut that very rapidly so you can see the lines, but the inside of it, you only see the little dashes, and you don't mind with this. It seems like to be normal. And I just glued these parts together. So you can also glue this if you wanted to, but you don't have to. I'll show you this later on. And I just put a little bow I made, and I attached this here. You can decorate them, of course, as you wish. So that's a way of doing it. Otherwise, you could print your pattern, your template, onto something a little bit heavier, like heavy cardstock or chipboard. You know, like this is a cereal box. You could print this on here and then do the outlines if you wanted to. That's another way to use it, and this is a template. This could be very useful if you're doing this with kids. If they're at age to be able to cut, you could use, they could use this to draw an outline. It would be much easier for them to do that than with a very flimsy paper. This is very flimsy. So if you want to put something heavy in here, use heavier paper, like cardstock, you know. So I've done this one here, and we're going to start by this one. I'm going to take this away so you'll be able to see it better. So this one is done. I am going to fold here and follow the lines. So the easiest way, I think, is to use some kind of ruler, but you don't have to. You could also use a stylus, but it's really, really easy. I'm going to put it this side because I've got a big, it's quite thick here. So I'm just going to fold this here, and I think I don't even really need that because it's so, there's not a big part to do it. I'm going to fold this here again. Very simple, but the effect, I think, are just very, very nice. Depending, I think the whole thing is about the paper you're going to use. And it's really easy to put it together. And here again, and here, and here. Okay, now it's all folded. We need to put it out. I need to fold it here too, I forgot. And this one here. Should I zoom in a little bit for you to see a little better? Okay, I think that's going to be fine. And now you can use whatever you want. You could use some hot glue or some tape. I'm going to get some tape. Please hold on. I'm going to pause just a second. Okay, I'm back. I've got my tape. Or, like I said, a hot glue gun, that will work too. So once you folded everything, you're just going to do this like this. That may be on camera. Don't forget that you need to cut these little bits, and they're gonna be handy because then you are going to put them together like this, you know, enter them this way, and there you go. Put these two flaps together. And what I like to do is glue them so they won't hang out like this, otherwise they will hang out. So I'm just going to use here a little bit of hot glue. And close that bit. Okay. We'll take care of the glue strings later on. A little bit of hot glue on this part. Not much. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. I've got glue everywhere, like always. I still love my glue gun. Okay, and now it's done. The only thing you need to do now would be to maybe close this before, so you could glue these two parts together if you wanted to. This is something I'm going to do this time, just because I think it's going to look nicer. There you go. Put some glue here. Whoops, and my paper is very flimsy, so I would recommend using something thicker. And then now you can put your treats or a little pair of earrings inside. Shut it. Put some glue if you wanted to, or a glue dot. Close it here. Put a little embellishment like I did. You know, it could be a bow, or like I did here. I'm not going to take it away, but that's exactly what I did. I put a bow to reunite the two pieces here, and you're good to go. That's your little favor box done, and it's really cute. And you can probably put more embellishments on it, but since the pattern paper is nice, I will leave it as so. Leave it as is. Sorry, and that's it. Your little favor box is done. Now, I'd like to show you the flower. So let me take this away. The flower, I've done about the same thing as the favor box, is that I printed the flower on the back side of another sheet of paper, and I went overboard. There was no more, my piece of paper was a bit too small here. I mean the pattern, but it's okay. It's just for the sake of the video. So I cut off my flower here, which is going to make this little pumpkin, which I really think is absolutely cute. I have cut out some leaves. These leaves, I just used some dies and another pattern paper. So this is the pattern paper I used, and I glued it again, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's really I am in love with this paper. I am in love with this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. Fall, summer, hot colors, you know, warm colors. So I cut it out, these pieces, with the dies that I have. I had these dies for a very long time. I don't even remember where I got these, but you've got different things, different kinds of leaves here. And I cut them out. Use whatever you have. If you want to use the template here with using these leaves, they'll be fine. And there's another template with only leaves, big leaves and small leaves. That's also available on my blog. Then what you will need to do, as I told you, this piece here, I am not going to cut it out because I think it's a bit too fancy, and you can do something easier. And this piece as well, I'm going to cut it differently. It's a square, but you can cut it differently. So what I've done here is that I replaced this part by just cutting a piece, and it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be inside your little box here. So I just cut it a piece here. Then you fold without measuring. You just fold about the same size here on this side, and you fold a little bit here, and then you're going to be able to glue these two parts together, and then you make something like square on the bottom, and you will be able to glue it down. It's not clear right now, but it's going to make more sense in just a second. So first, let's see the flower. Once the flower is done like this, what I would recommend to do is using some kind of pen, or it can be a ruler if you wanted to, the edge of a ruler, but start putting your petals in place in a curve motion. So I need to be very careful, especially when I arrive here, not to rip off my paper, and I'm going to start putting it in shape. And again, this one. And the last one here. Okay, so this is going to make our flower, or our pumpkin shape. So this is going to be useful to put in here in the middle. It's about the same length as this piece here. So that's the only thing maybe a little bit important. And if it's a little bit shorter, it's not a problem. So you, as I said, you're going to bend these two parts, put them together, and then make a square on the bottom piece. And you're going to glue one of the two here down in the center of your flower. So let's do this, and I'm going to use my hot glue gun for this. I'm going to glue this part here first. Glue these two pieces together. And now it's done. A little bit of glue here. And glue it in the center. You just eyeball it. You don't have to measure anything at this point. Let me zoom back in a little bit. Yep, that's good. And once this is done, you're going to put all your petals here, one after the other, in the center. And you're going to overlap these round bits. That's the only thing you need to do, okay? Maybe this is a bit big, a bit too large, so you will maybe do a thinner one, but doing it in cardstock is going to make your little pumpkin a little more sturdy, because if I do this piece with my flimsy paper, it's not going to stay in shape that much. So something a little sturdier. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. Putting this here. A bit more glue. This here. And this is what I love with hot glue, is that yes, it's way too big. We can see it underneath, but that's okay. We're going to put some embellishments, so I'm not going to be too worried about that. And there we go. And the last one here. And here. Oh, I could have put this one a little bit in the middle, but it's okay. You got the gist. Take more time to do that. And now we're going to put our embellishments. Oh yes, first we need to cut out a little piece of paper here, a little square. So you can do that in any color. Like I said, you could use a craft, you know, the color brownish or something. I'm just going to cut a piece here, maybe more like a rectangle piece. And I'm going to round this too, and I'm going to maybe use some scissors to do that. Okay, around this, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's going to be the stem of our pumpkin. And then I'm going to roll it. Cut the edges here, cut the pointy piece there. Okay, and I'm going to put some glue here to close it all. And it's a low temp. That's I'm really happy with that, because I don't burn myself. And I've got glue all over the place. And I'm going to bend it because I want it to be more, you know, like a more natural look at it. And I'm going to put some glue here on the bottom. And, okay, and that's the look of it right now. It's too long, maybe you can cut it off if you think it's a bit too long. And now I'm going to use my my die cuts put my leaves in shape. I should maybe do a little more close up here. So I'm going to put my leaves in shape a little bit. You can also play with that once you're done. It's not a problem. I just want to give them a more realistic look to them. Bend the leaves a little bit. Some up, some down. Yeah. And maybe one more. Like that. It looks a bit more organic. And I'm going to glue them here. Since this part is not that, it's a bit too open, too wide, I'm going to put one of the big leaves here. So I'm just going to put some glue here on the back, just a little dot, and put it here. And maybe the other one will be going this way. Yeah. I usually try not to make things too symmetrical. So this one is going to go here. That's fine. And maybe one little here. Yes. And one here. And that's done. And I'm going to call it done because I think it's really cute. It's another color. I don't know which one is best. I mean, they're both very nice, I think. Let me go zoom back. These two papers are different, but they are quite bright. I love them. Glue strings everywhere. I'll take care of that later on. And yes, I love these leaves and the paper I used. I put on this one a little bit more green. I used some ink and I inked the edges. I needed some more ink because it was maybe too close from the color here. But on this box, I think there's nothing more to do with this. And the box really looks nice. Maybe you could also use some double-sided paper if you didn't want to see the white part that is inside. I don't think it's that useful because they're really, really nice the way they are. And I love them. I'm going to put them on my table and I'm going to make a whole bunch with different colors. I might use this paper as the main color and use a different kind of color for the leaves. So here you have these little pumpkins. And last but not least, and it's also on my blog, let me take care of this. I use this kind of paper, you know, it's cookie sheet, to put my glue gun on because I don't want to spill it. And then you can take all your glue bits away. That's good because you can use this over and over again, these cookie sheets. Okay. Now, this one also is available on my blog, which is going to make this piece here. But what I decided to do, this here would be the outside lines, okay? This is how I put it together. That's gonna be this shape. But if you don't want to see the face, if you don't like it, what you can do is when you're going to print this out, cut only the outside, and you just cut or put on your pattern paper, you just draw the outlines of it. You don't have to maybe print it all, just use the outlines and you will have the shape of it. And then if you want to do your own drawings, like an angry one, because this is a smiley one, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to use the whole thing. Just imagine it was this way and you use the outlines of it. Okay? You don't have to have the face if you don't want to, but still have a nice little box. So, I already cut it out. You don't need to see me cut this one out. But one thing is important, and especially if your paper is thick, you need to cut out this little piece here. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. And there are some slits here, okay? You need to really cut this out because you're going to have to put these two pieces together in it. Okay, so if your paper is thick, they're going to have to go through this in order to look like this. Okay? So we need to fold this piece here first. And actually you won't have to use any type of glue for this one here. Really don't. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut these slits. My paper is really not heavy, so I wouldn't really have to do that big, but it's okay. So you see now, you really need to do that. Otherwise, you might have some difficulties to put the both through it. And you see my paper is ripping off because it's really flimsy. Okay, that's fine on the other side. So that one is super easy. I'm going to zoom out. You take your two pieces together, you align them, and you put them through the slit, through the little opening here. And you do the exact same thing on the other side, and you're done. And this is your box. It's the exact same box with using a different paper, which is also very nice, you know, candish color, goldish color. Use any paper you like. Just remember to really do these slits, and then if you wanted to, you could also decorate this piece here, or put some tags, or as I said, you could draw something on it before putting your box together. And this is it. So you've got all this done in a few minutes. I'm sure you could do these with your children if you wanted to, if they're in age to use scissors, but they're really lovely and they're easy to do, they're fun to do, they're easy to cut out, and the printables are totally free. So give it a try. Tell me, which one do you prefer? You have this little piece here, you have this little baby here, which I think my the two ones I love are these, then this, and then this. Maybe because it's the color of it, I could somehow use something different. But yes, this is very girlish, I think, really girlish. I like that. So please tell me which one you like best. And yes, well, that's over for today. So please, if you like this video, give me some thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back very soon. Bye bye.